welcome to my thoughts while standing in the queue. Today I was thinking about how to be a sweetie, a nice person. And I was surprised at what I discovered. Everyone knows you are what you eat. Did you know that foods affect your disposition? Eggs evidently make you more generous. It turns out that if you eat a spinach omelet, you'll end up giving away all your loose change and probably the shirt off your back. But on the other hand, should you gobble up frosted cupcakes with your coffee, you're liable to murder your child. Did you know that? It has to do with the trans fats in the foods we love. In California, it's a ritual for the police to stop at donut shops as they patrol their beat. The owners, who are desperately afraid these belligerent men will arrest them for no good reason, because it happens every day in California, always give them free pastries. Those men can easily devour a dozen of those greasy confections with their coffee in an 8-hour shift. Double that if it's a night shift. I can testify that these men are the meanest, angriest men on the planet. I have seen them chase innocent people, hit them with their truncheons, and shoot them if they get lippy. Well, now I understand why. I always thought that they actually had a reason. If the chief of police would insist that all his men ate big bowls of oatmeal with lots of strawberries before they went on patrol, he could reduce the number of arrests in California by at least 2/3. Who knew? It turns out that tuna fish is another food that makes you a kind, giving person. My cousin Jessica ate nothing but tuna fish for the first 5 years of her life. She scorned her mother's milk and gummed that oily fish even before she got her teeth. She was, without doubt, the most compassionate human being in the world. When it snowed outside, she would put blankets on all the trees in her front yard so they wouldn't shiver. And after a rainstorm, she always gathered all the earthworms wallowing in puddles and draped them on handlebars of her bicycle and gave them a breezy ride to dry them off. But her most beautiful, caring moment was when she was 8 years old and saw 2 dogs making love. My cousin was but a child, and no one had discussed the birds, bees, or copulation with her. When she saw our neighbor's poodle jump on top of her family's dachshund, she immediately tried to rescue her puppy. Sadly, the 2 dogs were so involved in what they were doing that they refused to separate, and Jessica was distraught. She rushed into our house where I was reading a bit of Pulp Fiction that I didn't understand. After all, I was 12 years old, and she cried, "Linny, come quick. Pee-wee and Zeke are stuck together in the middle of the street, and I can't get them apart. Any minute, a car will come around the bend and kill them." Well, this was an emergency of gigantic proportions. I rushed outside to help my cousin pull the vibrating dogs apart, but the 2 of us were simply not strong enough to overcome the power of love. That was when I heard a car coming down the road. "Oh my God, quick, Jessica," I cried. "Let's lift them up together and get them out of the street." And that's what we did. The dogs did not miss a beat. It's a miracle we're still alive. And the car continued down the road, unaware of the tragedy my cousin and I had prevented. I always thought that incident was the result of our ignorance about love and copulation, but now I know it was tuna fish that was to blame. Had my aunt fed her daughter enough frozen pizza and a few Twinkies, Jessica would have slammed those canine lovers with a stick, and we would not have had so many homeless puppies clogging our streets. So thank you very much for joining me in my thoughts while standing in the queue.